Have you heard of the story of a Malaysian couple who got divorced for a very weird, very trivial reason? And the issue revolved around their habits of squeezing out the toothpaste which they used in common. Unbelievable, right? How can this be the reason? But this has happened. This is the true story that I am telling to you. One of them had the habit of pressing it supposedly right. Okay, he started from the far end of the tube. The other one constantly pressed it in the middle of the tube, and that became the problem of conflict between these two people. It grew to such an extent that eventually they got divorced. There was this boy and girl who were in relationship for quite long. Eventually they decided to marry, got married, but the moment they married, very few days after the marriage, the girl started getting bored of the nature of the boy, the very nature which she loved earlier. The boy was of a silent nature. He very hardly talked, less talkative. And somehow that grew into a big problem between them, and she got divorced from him. So trivial issues. Now all of us know that these are just the tipping points. These are not the real reasons. Something is already being cooked, in the background. And just these points, they just act as triggers. Okay? But then, the point here is that this could become your clues to understand, to feel that you are moving on a very dangerous path. And if at all you could detect them earlier, you can think of doing something about stopping them, right? So in the first video, what we talked about was you are on the brink of breakup. Now in that case, I offered you certain solution, but that was quite comprehensive. But if you don't want to reach that stage, then you have to keep an eye on such clues. And this being trivial to start with, you can take very quick measures on them. So this is the video where I am going to give you this quick solution. Now, before we move towards the solution, before I share that formula, again that protocol, let me just remind you that whenever we approach any relationship issue and especially resolve it, then I follow a 3-step strategy. The number one step of that strategy is that all the work that we have to do is only with ourselves, not with the others. We are the important factor in this equation. The second step is that when we say that we have to work on ourselves, then we have to understand that we are made up of 3 predominant interdependent entities. Okay, one is body, other is mind, third is energy. When I say body, I am clubbing it with our behavior, because behavior is our physical expression of our inner being, right? Then when I say mind, I am clubbing all our thoughts, emotions, perceptions. And when I say energy, I am specifically talking about the morphic field, as it is called in the modern science by the biologists. Morph means shape. So the field which shapes us. Now when does it start shaping us? Right from when we are in the womb of our mother. And this is what I am sharing with you, the modern research. These fields are present when you are still a little meatball. Out of that, the fields, like an architect, they decide which genes to choose, which genes to keep dormant, which genes to cover, uncover, etc. And then eventually the shape that you are into currently or presently, then that is developed. And these fields are constantly with you till you die and even after you die. So those stories we'll talk later on. But then if these are so dominant field, then the third step automatically follows of this strategy, that if at all we have to work on ourselves, then we have to work on the energy. We will not work in the conventional ways of therapies like behavioral therapy, right? Psychotherapy, neuro-linguistic. We will not go to that route. We will just work on energy directly, because that's what is the rapid way to heal ourselves, to correct ourselves. That's a faster route that we have to follow. Now, what could be the faster route for us to understand in what way we have to stop these trivial issues which would eventually blow up into a bigger problem, right? That's what we are going to see in this video. Now, before I again disclose this formula, let me just give you one more additional piece of information which I didn't share in the first video. The information is that when I say energy field and these morphic fields, they are formed of infinite number of points. There are few points which we can call as center. There are again innumerous centers in our body, but then out of this there are few centers which are predominantly responsible to drive certain psychological tendency that we have. Now, where are these centers? The important ones all are mapped along our spinal cord, okay, right from the brain up to the base of the spinal cord. I am saying mapped. They are not, in a way, they are not residing into that spinal cord, because as we have seen that the fields are present even before your spinal cord is developed. Now, in what way we can find out the specific tendency that leads us from these trivial issues to something that is very extreme? For that, let me just again present you the evolution. So just hold on for some time before you actually know the formula. Howsoever trivial these factors or these issues might appear, there could be real reasons. Now let's take this particular example of somebody getting pissed off just because he is not pressing the toothpaste in a right way. Now what could be the reasons? As I see, the first reason is, just let me give you the keywords. The first reason is acceptance. The second reason is anxiety. And the third reason is attention. So these are the keywords. First is the acceptance. It is because you start reducing the acceptance of the other person that you start getting irritated about his behavior. So the same behavior which was acceptable to you earlier is now not acceptable to you. Why that happens? It happens because there are certain expectations, certain rules that you have set for yourselves. I will call them as your boundaries. Till the time the person is behaving within those boundaries, you are okay. The moment he starts crossing those boundaries, you freak out. Now, why do you in the first place love to have those boundaries inside you? Mainly because the boundaries define a very known world to you. It gives a sense of safety, security to you. So what it means is, for you to feel safe and secure, you have built these boundaries within yourselves. The moment somebody starts crossing this boundary, then you start feeling insecure. Let us stop here for now. So insecurity is the real root cause of you diminishing your acceptance budget about the other person. Now the second thing, anxiety. You are looking at that person, his behavior, and you feel that this fellow is so incapable, incompetent even to handle such a simple act, such a trivial act. How can he be responsible to work on more serious issues of life, especially those who are needed to cater to the liabilities that we have, the responsibility that we have, right? And in that case, how come he will be in a position to address those needs, especially the financial ones, the social status ones? And if he is not able to address those needs, then how can we be safe? How can we be secure? Right? So again, what is the cause? Insecurity, feeling of insecurity. Let's stop here again. Now the third aspect that I discussed, that I mentioned, that is of attention. That was the keyword. So it means that we have the craving for attention to be given by some other person, especially the one whom we think that we love. Okay, so the moment you start seeing that person not caring for pressing the tube in a right manner, you automatically start thinking that if he is not able to care for that simple tube, that innocent tube, how can he care for me? How can he give enough attention to me? Right? And then why do you want to have that attention? Why do you want to have that caring? Because you have that emotional dependency on the other person. You have the habit of looking into his mirror and feel good, feel beautiful, right? But the moment that dependency goes off, then what happens? Again, you start feeling insecure. So again, we have got the root cause of the insecurity. So now let us agree on this, that for such trivial issues, say one of such trivial issues, the real reason could be the insecurity. Right? So now that we have got what is the predominant psychological tendency, then let's work on it. Now which center is contributing to sense of insecurity or sense of security. The center which is predominant to give you the sense of security is the one at the base of your spine, and for that very reason it is also called as the base center. It is the center which gives you the sense of safety, security. It also gives you the energy to feel like living this life. So especially the people who have the suicidal tendencies, this center is weakened. So obviously the solution is to strengthen this center. How to strengthen this center? Again, let us get into the practice. Okay, same protocol, you remember, close your eyes. And then before we get into this protocol, just subscribe to this channel, because then there will be so many tendencies which I can drill down, give you the root causes, map those root causes to the specific centers, and then you have to work on those specific centers to act fast, to heal fast. Okay, so if you want to travel with me on that journey, you have to subscribe to this channel, come here again and again, put your comments here so that we can grow together. Okay, so let's start this protocol. Close your eyes, deep breathing in and out stabilizes your system. Okay, those of you who want to have a little detail about this, then you can visit the first video. Close your eyes, deep breathing in and out, stable. Visualize the light at the top of your head. Now it is descending down through your body, but now when it is coming down, start focusing only on that base center. The moment this light enters that center, visualize that it is growing there, it is vibrating there. Okay, feel this, have this feeling, feel these vibrations. Feeling is extremely important. Feel that this center is getting vibrated because of this light. It is becoming stronger and stronger, and feel this. And then this light is passing through that center into the ground, forming a column, a beam of light. Okay, that's what is called as the grounding. So feel that your base center is now getting grounded into the ground, into the mother earth through this pole of light. Both are connected, that's all. Done. Do this for 5 minutes every day. Even for 5 days you will start feeling the difference, and then I'm very sure that you will not hate that other person for the trivial reason that he's not able to squeeze the tube in the right place. Now before we end this video, let me give you one more bonus, a very short, a very small tweak that you can add to this protocol. Okay, so when you are visualizing this light in that center, what you additionally visualize is you are adding a drop of faint red light or a red color. So it becomes a whitish red, a faint red light which is vibrating your center. That's all. This will give you much better results. Okay, so will you try this? If you get certain experiences and results especially, do let me know. Come back to this channel and put your comments here. Okay.